Tonight, we've got a wild card which features two distinctively different styles. We have the cool efficiency of the European fighters like Igor Vovchanchyn and Sammy Schilt, and the hot-blooded fury of Wanderlei Silva and Quinton Jackson. So, in a lot of ways, tonight's show really lives up to its name, Cold Fury, which is really interesting because, you know, the Brazilians have been doing so well here lately in Pride.
Yeah, I assume you're talking about the ex-murderer from Brazil. That's what they call him, Wanderlei Silva.
Of course.
He is the man. I mean, this guy is the man. He is the Pride middleweight champion. And although tonight's not going to be a title fight, Alexander Otsuka, the guy he's going to face, he's going to try to put a mark tonight. Now everybody says, Alexander Otsuka, what is he going to do against Wanderlei Silva? Well, you got to understand, when Otsuka came into the Pride, he beat Marco Ruas. After that, he went the distance with Vovchanchyn, and he went the distance with Renzo Gracie. So if this guy is in shape, this could be a real good fight.
But speaking of the Iceman himself, Igor Vovchanchyn really needs a win here tonight to get back in the heavyweight title picture because he lost his last fight to Mario Sperry. So he's got to dig deep to find that ice-cold tenacity that he's freeze-dried so many opponents with.
Okay, that's the card. But I'm here for the party. Where are the Pride girls?
I don't know, but I wish they'd hurry up.
What are you gonna do with that, man? That's not gonna help. I'm El Guapo. They're for me.
Yeah, but I'm Steven, so whatever.
You're early.
I don't know. Let's go find them.
Yay!
What are we doing wrong?
Obviously, we don't have mojo.
You're right. Mojo.
We must learn mojo.
Hello, fight fans, and welcome back to Pride Resurrection, the historical video series dedicated to the Pride Fighting Championships, where with each episode, we'll take a look back at a specific event from Pride's history. And today, dear viewers, we're going to be taking a look back at Pride 18. I am the most dangerous man alive today, joined by just myself. Well, not actually. Alistair, the amazing Australian, the most famous Australian MMA fighter that I know. He's going to be joining us and providing his play-by-play on a couple of the fights, as well as his thoughts on the event, but we'll get into that later. What about Pride 18? A giant ice asteroid is hurtling toward Earth, which will freeze all of the oceans and kill all life as we know it. That is, unless the US government and NASA can stop it. Unfortunately, while preparing the shuttle for launch, a previously undetected asteroid slams into Washington, D.C., devastating America. And so it's up to the Japanese, who just so happen to have a shuttle on standby. Unfortunately, all of their astronauts were in Washington, D.C. for a field trip. With no other recourse, 16 street fighters are recruited, quickly trained on astrophysics, and then loaded into a shuttle. They are the last best hope for mankind. But can they set aside their differences and succeed? This is Pride 18, Cold Fury 2. Held on December 23rd, 2001 at the Marine Messe in Fukuoka, Japan, around 9,000 fans turned up to see the action. Quadro says it's a sellout. Pride 18 features 7 MMA bouts of extreme man-on-man punching action and one special K1 versus Pride bout. We'll get to see the debut of Jeremy Horn, along with returns of some of our faves, including Daijiro Matsui, Rampage Jackson, Semmy Schilt, Takayama, Akira Soji, Wanderlei Silva, Igor Volchanchin, and then some other guys like Yoshihisa Yamamoto, Alexander Otsuka, and Allan goes. Before we get into our event though, what else was happening in the MMA world around this time? A week after Pride 18, Papa Inoki, with the help of Dream Stage Entertainment, that's the company behind Pride these days, put on his second Boomba Yay event, titled Inoki vs. K1. This horrible event, which looks like a bad attempt at shoot-style pro wrestling at times, is headlined by Tadao Yasuda taking on Jerome LeBanner. It mainly featured various MMA fighters, all from Pride, taking on various K1 fighters of the era. This includes Mike Bernardo fighting Nobuhiko Takada to a 3-round draw, Sam Greco fighting Damasake Satake to a 3-round draw, Ebenezer Fontes Braga fighting Gary Goodridge to a 3-round draw. A particularly fishy-looking fight, by the way. Tokumitsu Ishizawa, remember him? He fought K1's Shingo Koyasu to a 3-round draw. Are you getting the hit yet, fight fans? The event was somewhat saved by the tall end of the card, though, with Don Fry using an awkward rear naked choke to submit Cyril Abedi in the second round, Mirko Krokop destroying Yuji Nagata in 21 seconds with a TKO, and then Tadao Yasuda fighting Jerome LeBanner, whom was cornered by none other than Ken Shamrock. Tadao, that old fart, somehow, someway managed to make Jerome submit due to a forearm choke in the second round. This event overall is very bad and not nearly as good as the 2000 event, mainly because the 2000 event was a fun pro wrestling show and this was just mostly a bad MMA show. With all that out of the way though, let's get into it. Pride 18, Cold Fury 2.
Hello, Pride Resurrection fans. It is I, Alistair. Unfortunately, I've gotten a new job and I now don't have fuck all to do every day. I actually have to go to a place and earn money. So I couldn't actually come in and join the most dangerous man alive today on his commentary on this particular episode about Pride 18. However, I will be with you in spirit and I have sent in some completely lacking in nuance hot takes about each fight. Bear in mind, if I was going to actually talk about these fights for any period of time, these opinions would be tempered somewhat by me saying that certain things were good or certain things were bad. But because I've only got 30 seconds, it's essentially me saying a tweet to you. So there is no nuance in these whatsoever. Also, I would like to ask a favor of the Pride Resurrection audience. If you could all send a message to Paul Lazenby on Twitter. I asked him for an interview on his upcoming, in my Pancreas review series, I'm coming up on a live 2, his debut. And I talked to him on Twitter and he agreed to answer a few questions, and I've sent those questions off to him, but he just hasn't gotten around to doing it, and I don't want to bug him. But you know what? If I get 1,000 people to go and bug him, that'd work out. Be nice, because I like the man, and I don't want to sour the relationship, but, just give him a little prod. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoy the episode of Pride 18, and I hope you enjoy my completely lacking in nuance hot takes.
Pride 18 opens with Quadros and Boss in the back, and Quadros tries to make the name Cold Fury make sense. Then there is a skit where Quadros and Boss are wanting to mac on the Pride girls, and then poof, they are suddenly joined by Rampage, Mesger, Alex Andrade, and Semmy Schilt. Then it's right into the parade of fighters, beginning with the Pride girls dressed in Santa outfits. Terrible Japanese-style Christmas music plays, and then the girls take off their Santa gear. Hooray for erections! Kai Grant is then projected on the giant ball above the ring. We've seen this before. The Pride music hits and the fighters are introduced, after which the giant ball explodes, symbolizing the climax of the erections caused earlier by the Pride girls. Very clever, Pride. Then we head directly to a quick interview between Quadros and Rampage, and it's time for bout 1 of Cold Fury 2, which sees a returning Quinton Rampage Jackson taking on a returning Daijiro Matsui. Rampage was 23 years old here, and his record was 12-2. Daijiro, meanwhile, was 29 years old, and his record was 3-8-2. Rampage is back after beating up Yuki Ishikawa at the previous Pride, and Daijiro is back after being beaten up by Ninja Hua at Pride 16. That was back in September of 2001. Both men get their walkouts, starting with Rampage. Rampage's personal details are then aired out. Quadros saying he thinks Rampage is thinking of moving to Japan, and Boss says he thinks so too, because he has, quote-unquote, the Japanese girlfriend.
And he loves the spotlight. He absolutely loves Japan. I think he's thinking about moving here.
I think so too. He's got the Japanese girlfriend who came to visit him for the last 2 months in Los Angeles.
Who would have figured? Rampage barks as he walks down the ramp, and the crowd barks back at him. Then Matsui is out wearing a shirt featuring none other than himself. Now that is the epitome of being a homer. I think I'm going to make a shirt featuring myself and just wear it around town and see what people say. Geezer tidbit, Daijiro's 29th birthday was 2 weeks prior to this event. He was born on December 5th. Matsui is in great shape. Rampage looks good too. At the stare down, Rampage doesn't mind the ref touching his schlong. Just an observation for the future, fight fans. Nothing more to say. Time for the fight. Round one. The bell rings. Matsui telegraphing his shoot. Rampage underhooks and knees Matsui right in the dick. And Matsui is down. He looks like he's in agony.
Matsui's corner. Here we go. Matsui in the blue. Quinton in the black and red.
In the boxing stance.
Oh, knee to the groin right away.
Replays show that it was clearly a foul. We are then told that Matsui gets 5 minutes to recover, but I don't think it's going to be needed as the stretcher is already coming to the ring. What the fuck? It's almost like this was planned. Conveniently, Matsui gets up to his knees and then just rolls right onto the now awaiting stretcher. Well, I guess this fight is over. Matsui is carted off to the back. It's announced that if Matsui can recover, though, they'll restart the fight later. And the crowd applauds that. But, psst, this fight's not going to restart, fight fans.
Matsui looked into the multiverse in order to find a way to win this fight, and unfortunately the only way he could do that was by taking a thunderous shot to the dick. Bad luck, Matsui. Shitty fight.
So, what would become of our two terrible nut thumpers here? Daijiro, despite having his nuts mashed, will be back for the very next Pride, Pride 19, Bad Blood, where he'll take on a Gracie, of all people, Rodrigo Gracie, cousin to the other Gracies and 1998 Abu Dhabi Combat Club gold medalist, who had an MMA record at the time of 1-0, and he will be making his Pride debut. As for Rampage, he will return at Pride 20, armed and ready to take on the Masake Satake. We'll see you boys then.
Newcomer Alex Stiebling is coming in off a 16-man tournament win in the IBC Venezuela, but his opponent, Allan Goes from Brazil, is one tough customer, boss.
Oh yeah, today in the pre-interview we had with him, he looked ready, and he wants to make the world known that he is still there, sharp and ready to kill.
Hello, Pride fans. My name is Matt Hume. I'm here at Pride Cold Fury 2. I am one of your official judges for Pride, and I'll be joining Steven Quadros and Boss Rutan in the commentary booth tonight to help you better understand the judging criteria that we use here at Pride, as well as some of the technical aspects that you'll be seeing in the fights tonight at Pride. Thank you all for tuning into Pride, and I hope you enjoy the fights.
Matt Hume, looking very smart in a suit, is back to let us know he'll be sitting in with Quadros and Boss because Pride is clearly concerned with average dumb Americans not understanding the convoluted judging criteria for Pride fights. Then it's on to bout number 2 of Cold Fury 2, which features a returning Allan Goes taking on newcomer Alex Steibling. Allan was 30 years old here, and his MMA record stood at 5-2-2. Steibling from the USA was 21 years old, and his MMA record was 10-1-1 and won no contest. Allan has returned after a bit of a layoff. His last MMA fight was at Pride 13 in March of 2001, where Mark Coleman put the hammer down on him. Now he's back to get revenge, not only for himself, but his country, against the man who just dominated a bunch of Brazilians at a tournament a month prior. But who is this Alex fellow anyway? Born in Louisville, Kentucky, Alex began his MMA career with little fanfare at WPC, Rage in the Cage, that's World Pancration Council, in LaPorte, Indiana on April 3rd of 1999. There he beat a man named Furman Long, who is assumed to be a bum under a street name, as it appears to be Furman's only fight. After that, Stiebling went to hook and shoot for 4 straight wins, 3 by submission, before he was invited to the UFC for UFC's first 185-pound middleweight bout. This was at UFC 28 in November of 2000, and Alex's opponent would be Matt Hughes. Hughes beat Alex via decision. After that, Alex shot over to Japan for one single pancrase Proof 2 in February of 2001, where he was involved in a no-contest bout against that lump of shit, Sine Kukuda. I still have not forgiven Sine for his horrible fight against Renzo Gracie. Then in November, just prior to Pride 18 here, Alex was invited to the IVC, that's International Vale Tudo Championships, for their USA versus Brazil tournament. This tournament also featured John the Saint Rankin and the male Cyborg, and then in a non-tournament bout, we saw the Pedro Octavio fight as well. Despite being called USA versus Brazil, it appears only 3 Americans were in the tournament. Regardless, Alex would beat all 4 of his Brazilian opponents, with his finals opponent, Angelo Araujo, having beaten Cyborg Santos just prior. This was clearly a surprising result, and that was the last time Alex had fought, bringing us here to Pride 18. Only Alex gets his walkout, and Quadros welcomes in Matt Hume, and introducing him just as Pride referee. Matt, clearly aggravated by this, responds to Quadros with angry silence.
Boss Rutten and myself are joined by our dear friend and Pride referee, Matt Hume. Welcome, Matt.
Quadros then can't seem to find his notes on what Alex's nickname is. Boss tries to save him, and Quadros, providing ammo for his future firing from Pride, just gives up on the whole thing with frustration.
His nickname is the blue-headed tornado. Okay, whatever.
Geezer tidbit, Alex is 3 days shy of his 25th birthday. Good stare down by the men. Both men look intense and fired up. And Allan even threatens to start the fight before the ref says go. Well, let's get through it. Round 1. Alex comes out looking like a buffoon with his right hand held close to his face. Go shoots in and takes him down. Alex has butterfly guard. Allan gets half guard. Matt Hume has taken the role of analyst for this fight.
Now he's made his way to half guard. He's scoring well right now. He got the takedown, and he's improving his position. Look for him to go to either side position or full mount from here.
And quite frankly, this is the best commentator mesh you can have. One play-by-play guy, one analyst guy, and one color guy. Allan works to get his trapped leg free, then he goes for mount, and just like that, he has an arm triangle seemingly locked in. Alex is defending it by mere accident, it appears. The ref is annoying as hell here, continually pattering on with, "Give up, give up, give up, give up, give up."
Gentlemen,
Wait, this could be dangerous. He's got it.
he's got that side choke.
Give up. Seriously, it gets fucking annoying. Allan should know better and jump to the side control. Allan starts to point at Alex, and Matt Hume mistakenly thinks it's Alex tapping out.
He's going to try to turn
Steven
him.
should try to turn in and get a little space on his neck there. He needs to raise Allan's. Looks like he's tapping.
No, it's Allan's
that's
hand. He says
okay.
maybe he's out.
Allan jumps over to side control a little too late, and Alex turns into him. Breaking the hold, Allan gets back into guard, and Steibling punches him with a couple soft rights. "This is unreal," says Boss.
This is unreal.
Okay, I'll agree. Goes does steady grinding work, then passes to half guard and nearly gets into side control as Steibling turns onto his side. 5 minutes down in round 1. Steibling then regains guard. Allan moves to the side again, still has a leg trapped, and Alex turns onto his side, similar to before. This time, Goes grabs the left arm and starts to crank it behind Steibling's back, and the ref is back on with his "give up, give up, give up, give up" nonsense.
Look at the chicken wing up. Looks like it's just, yeah.
Alex is going to spin out.
I know this practice has a long history in Japan, but this isn't pro wrestling. Steibling tries to spin out of it, but his leg gets trapped by Goes. Goes holds on to the arm for a moment, then just releases it, and whoops, Steibling takes advantage of a lazy Goes and grabs the leg, going for a knee bar. But his application wasn't very good. Goes gets out, climbs on top of Alex into guard. Matt Hume explains how Alex gets nothing from the judges for his submission attempt there. 3 minutes left in round 1 now. Allan is in half guard, works some punches. Alex isn't offering much from the bottom, and Allan is completely dominating the position. The commentators have a good laugh at Quadros' expense, as Quadros confirms a point by Boss that annoyance does play a part in this position, and Boss says, "Yeah, but no talking because you would be the champion, Steve." Yeah, but no talking. It's a horrible Boss Rutan. Yeah, but no talking because you would be the champion, Steve. Yeah, but no talking because you would be the champion, Steve. Oh my God. Right. Oh, no, yeah, but no talking because you would be the champion, Steve.
Yeah, but no talking, because then you would be the world champion, Steven.
Then Steibling finally makes a move, turning to his knees. Goes locks up his neck. Steibling breaks out of it against the ropes. Goes for the legs. Steibling tries to fight it off, but fails. The ref moves the fighters, but Goes doesn't seem to understand, as he decides to grapple Steibling again, as the ref is in the process of moving them. 1 minute left now in round 1, but not much happens. And then the round ends. Round 2 starts off with Goes grabbing Steibling, who breaks away with a punch. Goes shoots in, sprawl by Alex. Goes holds onto the leg down to the mat. Alex knees Goes, who pulls guard. Matt Hume explains the Pride points system. Points are accumulated throughout the entire fight, and whoever has the most points at the end of the fight wins. Quadros then notes that the judges' points favor the fighter who is trying to exterminate.
They're trying to terminate. They're trying to exterminate. They're trying to end the fight.
That's it.
Steibling works some punches, but not a whole lot happens. 2 minutes left now. We're still here. You could call it steady work by Alex. Goes then tries to pull off an armbar from the bottom, and Steibling gets caught, but he's not in immediate danger in this position. And Alex leaps over Goes to get out of it. Nicely done. He spins in the guard, then stands up. Boss likes it.
Here. When the guard is closed and the man on the bottom is not moving his hips. There, Allan's moving his hips.
Armbar.
Beautiful. He's trying for an armbar. Looks pretty good. Stiebling's got his arms locked. We'll see if Allan can roll him over.
Oh, Stiebling's in a bad position.
Stiebling's head's up. Watch him to spin around. There he goes.
What a beautiful escape there by Alex Stiebling. Excellent technique.
Get out. This is what he should do.
Steibling's corner commands him to back away to make Goes stand, but he just doesn't fucking listen.
He should just back up and stand up. But we don't know. We don't know how good he is at stand up.
And we know Allan from this position, he kicks Akira quite a few times.
The call for 1 minute left comes, and the ref decides to take action into his own hands, and he stands Goes up. Goes shoots in. Alex sprawls and is back in guard. Goes for a push kick from the bottom. Alex is up, and then the bell rings. Who has what it takes to win this fight? We'll see. Round 3, the bell rings. Steibling goes for a low kick, which Goes tries to grab and pull guard, but Alex leaps away, tries to stomp. Allan grabs the foot. Steibling is down in side control, spins to forward position, knees, wraps up the neck. Goes tries to pull guard. Steibling is up, kicks at Allan's legs, and then winds up for a stomp, is down into side control. He knees to little avail, then hammers down on Allan, and the ref is in to stop the fight. Wow, what an upset. Alex Steibling, winner via TKO at 47 seconds of the third round.
Really just back up.
That's
right. Goes for a stomp there. He's putting a beating here on Allan Goes. This is shades of Mark Coleman, but those aren't landing. They're being blocked.
This fight's
oh my God, it's ready to fight. A TKO. Referee, stop it. Wow. Allan.
Oh my God, we got somebody new.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel, says Quadros. What an upset, says Hume. Quadros agrees. Alex Steibling cements his Brazilian killer moniker. Hey, look, it's Big Tom Erickson in the ring, and he was in Alex's corner. Matt Hume talks about Steibling's training, saying he's been training on his own for a while, but with the right tutelage, he could really be something. I like this guy a lot, exclaims Quadros.
You know, I'm not sure where he's been training, but I know for a while he trained on his own. And boy, this kid with the right training and the right conditioning, the right preparation for a fight is going to be something.
I like this guy a lot.
And then we're off to the next bout. Let's check in with Alistair and find out what he thought of this fight.
Allan Goes has only one route to victory, and that is submissions, and he couldn't even submit to Frank Shamrock, who'd been training for 6 months. Basically, Alex Stiebling just had to wait it out. Also, Stiebling is the most awkward-looking fighter I've ever seen. His Philly shell just results in him getting punched in the face. Oh well, we've worked out that Allan Goes's kryptonite is being kneed directly in the top of the dome.
Overall, this was a good fight. It was competitive, active, nice performance by both men. Goes looked like he gassed out Steibling. He showed some great escapes, but I really don't think that Goes is the best BJJ guy around. I give this one a 7 out of 10. So what would become of our two super slick boomers here? Alex Steibling will be back at Pride 19 for more Brazilian competition when he takes on a returning Valide Ismail. As for Allan Goes, this fight would mark the end of his Pride career. He would return to Brazil, take over a year off from fighting, and then re-emerge in May of 2003 to appear at Mecca World Valley 208. There he would armbar Carlos Lima in the first round. Later in 2003, Allan, I assume, would quit his fight against Gustavo Machado at Heat FC 2, an event that also saw other former Brazilian Pride fighters Ebenezer Fontes Braga and Carlos Barreto fight, as well as a young Forrest Griffin, of all people. Another year layoff, and Allan flew over to Hawaii to fight at Rumble on the Rock 7 in May of 2005, beating Chris West via knee bar in only 41 seconds. After that, Allan would finish out his career in the IFL, that's International Fight League, between 2006 and 2007, where he would have 3 straight wins, including a win over a Gracie, Daniel Gracie, before he suffered a loss against another Alex Schoenauer, in June of 2007, which was his final fight. Allan Goes would retire then and become a BJJ teacher in America. His record ended at 10-5-2. Godspeed, Allan. Godspeed.
Murilo Ninja Rua is fast becoming one of the rising stars in the Pride Fighting Championship. From Curitiba, Brazil, he will be taking on an American in Alex Andrade.
Oh yeah, Alex El Toro, that's what they call him, the Bull. He's coming from Texas, and he's got the nickname because the Lions Den, all the people in the Lions Den call him El Toro because he's like a bull. He's a good boxer, good kicker, good submission guy, and a good wrestler. This could be a real good fight.
Okay, they call him El
from the
Toro.
United States of America,
Alex Andrade. From Laredo, Texas. He hails from Ken Shamrock's famous gym, the Lions Den. Comes in right around 200 pounds at 5'11". He's ready to rumble. 6 wins, 1 loss in boxing, and 3-0 in kickboxing. And he's ready to rumble against a real tough gentleman from Curitiba, Brazil, in Ninja.
Yeah, we don't know what to expect with this one. Murilo, I think he has to take him to the ground because his stand-up skills from Alex are better than Murilo's. But apparently Alex is a real good wrestler too, and his takedown defense is phenomenal. All the people from the Lions that are raving about him.
On to the third bout of the evening, which sees a returning Murilo Ninja Rua taking on newcomer to Pride, Alex Andrade. Murilo was 21 years old, and his record entering this fight was 6-1-1. Alex Andrade from the USA was 27 years old, and his record was 4-2. Murilo makes a quick return, last being seen in Pride at the previous Pride 17. Now he's welcoming in a new American fighter who's been seeing the world in his MMA travels. But just who is this Alex Andrade fellow anyway? Born in Texas, USA, El Toro, as he is known, was a part of the Lions Den. That's Ken Shamrock's gym of muscly men who like to grapple. Alex got his MMA start at the ridiculous IAFC No. 1 in September of 1995. Ridiculous because it was a one-night 32-man tournament in the early Wild West days of the MMA, barefisted with little rules. Alex was given a tough fight at the very start, where he was pitted up against Ricardo the Mutant Moraes in the very first round of the tournament. Seeing as Ricardo Moraes destroyed the competition at the tournament that year, you know how this one went. Moraes punched Alex into submission after 1 minute in the first round. Alex didn't fight for 2 years after that, not until June of 1997, where he found himself invited to Pancrase. Not surprising, being that he was one of Shamrock's boys. This was at Pancrase Alive 7 on June 30th, and there he fought Satoshi Hasegawa. Alex won via decision based on Satoshi losing points during the bout. Alex stopped back in the good old USA for the World Pancration Championships 2 in January of 1998, defeating Paul Lazenby via TKO in the very first round, and then he returned to Pancrase for Advanced 6 in May of 1998. This time it was Osami Shibuya, and while the young boy he was fighting in Pancrase may have changed, the result was the same. Alex won via decision due to Shibuya losing points during the round. I'm not entirely sure what Alex was up to for the next 2 years, but he decided to take them off from fighting, and he didn't come back to MMA until June of 2000, where he was given a shot at the UFC for UFC 26, Ultimate Field of Dreams, where his opponent was Amore Battetti. Despite the rules of the UFC allowing shoes at the time, but no kicking with those shoes, Alex did so anyway multiple times, prompting the ref that night, Big John McCarthy, to issue him several warnings. Big John finally had enough of Alex's shit, though, at the start of the second round, where Alex threw a kick right into Amore's head, and thus Alex was disqualified. Alex had just one more fight after that before Pride 18, which came at King of the Cage 7, Wet and Wild, in February of 2001, where he beat Yusuke Imamura via submission to strikes in the first round, and that brings us here to Pride 18. This must be a night of short notice guys named Alex. I didn't mention it before, but Alex Stiebling had taken his fight with Allan Goes on a 2-week notice, and the same goes for Alex Andrade here, as mentioned by Quadros during his walkout. We see Guy Mesger and Sans right tit Trey Teligman walk out with Andrade. Ninja Hua is already in the ring. Andrade is sporting shoes for this fight, and I guess we can safely assume he's going to kick Ninja Hua with him, but that will be legal here in Pride, unlike the UFC. Let's get right into it. Round 1, the men collide, and surprising, Andrade is throwing some body shots. They grapple, hit the ropes, body lock by Andrade, knees by Ninja. Andrade throws some back. The ref is then in to separate the fighters. On the restart, Ninja moves in. There's a whiffing punch by Andrade, and Ninja hugs him and then trips him down to the mat. Ninja is in side control. Andrade goes to his knees. Ninja holds on. Andrade stands, an impressive lift and slam by Ninja Hua. On the mat momentarily, knee by Ninja. Andre stands back up. Ninja tries a suplex, but the ropes impede it. Ninja holds on, has Andrade's back. Andrade squirts towards the corner. Ninja goes for a punch. Andrade locks up Ninja's right arm with a Kimura, turns and whips him down to the mat. Ninja spins over. Andrade is on top, and wow, action-packed start to the round so far.
I'm here. They come in trading, and there's a body lock by Ninja. Ninja with a trip, and Ninja got he's got the side control here.
Immediate pass.
And he's going for his back. And Alex stands back up. Ninja with a suplex. Whoa!
What a takedown.
Andrade was trying to hang on for the chicken right there.
Ninja trying another suplex. Andrade hanging on to his ropes. That's a foul here.
And he's going to get a yellow card if he does that again.
Ninja trying to show some power here.
Oh, Alex has got the arm. Oh!
Now, what a wild fight already, folks. Ninja on the bottom.
Exactly what we expected.
Andrade works from guard. We're in the ropes. The ref wants to move them to the center of the ring. Ninja tries to spring in maybe an armbar. Ninja is more active than Andrade here, working punches from the bottom. Then as Ninja tries the position under Andrade, Andrade takes that as a signal to stand up. The men grapple, knees against the ropes. Then Ninja powers Andrade down. In guard, there is an accidental headbutt which the ref checks on. Ninja works some more punches, 5 minutes down in round 1. More of the same, towards the ropes. Ninja punches, postures up. Ref restarts the fighters in the center of the ring. Ninja constantly active here. 3 minutes now left in the round. Ninja tries a can opener, then punches. We're down to a minute, and Andrade has sustained a lot of marks and bruises on his face. Ninja goes to stand up to deliver a stomp, but Andrade blocks it. Ninja is back down on top of him. Andrade turns to his side. Ninja knees, has his back. Then the bell rings, ending the round. Andrade's face is really marked up. That won't be good when it comes to the judging, says Matt Hume.
Andrade's face there is not going to fare well with the judges.
No.
Appearance is a part of the judging now? Okay. Round 2. Ninja rushes in and fires away. Knees, they clinch. More knees from Ninja. They jostle for position. Against the ropes, the ref separates them. Gives Alex a stern talking to. The fight restarts. High knee by Ninja. Clinch. Knee in the corner. Takedown by Ninja. Andrade gives up his back. Knee, hammer fists. Ninja stands up and kicks Andrade, pushes Andrade into the corner. Takedown. Ninja's in his guard. 2 minutes left in round 2. Steady work from Ninja on top. 1 minute left. More of the same. Then the bell rings, ending round 2. Ninja is right up like a shot. Andrade looks beat. On to round 3. The men exchange kicks. Andrade loses his balance and falls. Ninja's on top of him. Punches. This goes on for about 1 minute. Ref stand up. Yellow card for Andrade. On the restart, head kick by Ninja. Punches. Clinch and knee. Then clinch in the corner. Andrade wraps up his neck against the ropes. Ref separation on the restart. Jumping knee by Ninja. Takes Andrade down. Takes Andrade's back. Knees by Ninja. Stand up and kicks. 2 minutes left in round 2. Andrade grabs Hua and just falls back. Ninja is in his guard. Continuous work from Ninja once again. 1 minute left. Body work by Ninja. Ninja is finally slowing down now, and then the bell rings and this fight is over. Ninja is excited. He gets taken down by Pele, and we can safely assume who won this fight. But we'll have to head to the judges to learn the final verdict, which is...
Judge Okabayashi, Murilo. Judge Kobayashi, Murilo. Judge Bato, Murilo.
Well, what we got is what we expected. Murilo Ninja with a dominant, and I have to use that word again, dominant.
No-brainer, Ninja Murilo Hua winner via unanimous decision after 3 rounds of fighting. He gets a trophy, gets a giant check, and then we're off to the next bout. We'll head back over to our friend Alistair and see what he thought of this fight.
Holy shit, German suplexes are cool. Otherwise, I can't really remember much about this fight other than Ninja beating the shit out of this guy from the Lion's Den. The Lion's Den kind of peaked before Ken went to WWE. After he left, the prospects they brought in and the quality of the fighters started to dip off. Guy Mezga, while still fighting there, did very well in that period, but it wasn't the same as it was in 95 to 97.
Here's my take. Great showing from Ninja. His gas tank was the real star here. He just kept going and going and going. Andrade didn't look very good, and I'm wary of his skill set. Maybe he needs a year or 2 to grow. I'm not sure. Overall, good fight. One-sided though, 6 out of 10. So what would become of our 2 swaft sweepers here? Murilo Hua will be back soon for Pride 20, armed and ready, where the bad blood of the 2 Brazilian teams, that's Brazilian Top Team and Shootbox, will spill in the cage as Mario Sperry will be ready to take Ninja on. As for Alex Andrade, this was it for his Pride appearances. Yup, one and done. He would have 7 more fights in his career after this, going 5-2 and ending his MMA career in July of 2009 with a record of 9-5 total. He would have 2 appearances in the early days of Bellator in 2009, but he didn't really fight anyone worth noting other than Krzysztof Sosinski at Ring of Combat 18 in March of 2008, whom Andrade would knee too many times in the dick, thus getting DQ'd. We'll see you around some other time, Alex. Up next on Pride 18 is a special K1 versus Pride bout, which sees a returning Yoshihisa Yamamoto taking on newcomer to Pride, Johannes Jan Nordiki. Yamamoto was 31 years old, and while his official record is said to be 11-13-1, it's more likely to be 6-6-1. Jan, from Cape Town, South Africa, was 26 years old, and his MMA record was 0-1. Yamamoto is back to show the world his skills, and he'll have to do it against a giant 6'11 striker, but just who is this Jan fellow anyway? Also known as Big Sexy, which is clearly a sarcastic nickname. Jan's first experience as a competitive fighter came at K1 Kings 1998 in April of 1998, where he fought Matt Skelton. Remember him? We saw Matt last Pride being choked out by a bear. Jan would get TKO'd in his debut fight against Skelton. Jan would keep a steady pace in K1 in 1999 and 2000, fighting the likes of Mitsuya Nagai, a TKO win, Crow Cop, a KO loss, Jerome LeBanner, a KO loss, and then Matt Skelton again, a decision loss. During this time, Jan also took up pro boxing, beginning in South Africa, where from May of 1999 until June of 2001, he would go undefeated over 11 bouts. Some of his opponents in boxing are the most random collection of who's you've never heard of, including Egan Norman, Armstrong Mabete, Quinton Nordiki, a relative, I assume, who Jan beat the fuck up twice with a doctor stoppage and a corner stoppage victory. Then Mario Saylor, yes, that Mario Saylor, whom you've never heard of. He fought Jan on the moon. Literally, the boxing match took place at The Moon, a nightclub in Tallahassee, Florida. Jan's one and only MMA fight before Pride 18 here came against Gary Goodridge at the K1 Andy Hugh Memorial Show of 2001, where on August 19th, Gary Goodridge submitted him with an arm lock. I want to say it was an armbar, but it might have been an Americana. The day after that, Jan fought a kickboxing match at K1 Nagoya, where he beat Sergey Madkin via KO, and that was the last time Jan had fought, bringing us here to Pride 18. Jan towers over Yamamoto, and Jan has him outweighed by about 70 or so pounds. No knees or kicks are allowed to the head of a downed opponent in this one, as that was Yamamoto's choice, being that there's more than a 10-kilo weight disadvantage. Anyway, let's do it. Round one. The men meet. Yamamoto feints that he's going to shoot. Jan decides to punch him a couple of times, and then Yamamoto must have lost the contact lens as he searches for it on the mat before he goes to his ass. The crowd have suddenly lost all enthusiasm for this fight.
Jan the Giant Nordiki wants to keep this standing, undefeated in pro boxing. Nordiki, a stop. Oh, look at that right hand! Bad position for Yamamoto.
Jan backs up and Yamamoto stands. Yamamoto with an awful shoot attempt. Jan stands above him and clubs him, and whoops, he just let Yamamoto grab his leg. Yamamoto takes him down against the ropes. Jan holds on to the neck. Yamamoto lightly works the body, pops his head out, and now he's in half guard. Boss thinks a knee bar is coming. It's not. Yamamoto gets the side control. He moves to freaky mount, grabs the arm, and then he pulls it back, and just like that, Jan is tapping out. Congratulations, Yamamoto! A winner is you!
Okay, he's got to get back up on his feet, for sure. By no stretch of the imagination is he a ground fighter. Gary Goodridge beat him with an armbar. Looks like, oh my God! Wow! Yamamoto gets the armbar. Nordiki has got to go and train jiu-jitsu.
Yamamoto winner via armbar at 1 minute, 43 seconds of the first round. Let's head over to our friend Alistair and see what he thought of this fight. Alistair, take it away.
Nordiki was specifically brought in for Yoshihisa Yamamoto to beat, and Yamamoto still managed to find a way to almost lose. It was like two guys in Dragon Ball Z trading their finishes. Somehow, Yoshihisa Yamamoto managed to survive that right hand to the head and came back with his armbar. I'll never quite understand why people in Japan tried to keep matching Yamamoto up with people who are way tougher than he was.
Here's my thoughts. Good showing for Yamamoto, who's very close to being regulated to that bin of, quote, once promising Japanese fighters who are in fact shit and just used to fill out the card, unquote. He still very well may be, so just stay tuned, fight fans. Yan, well, he's not a very good MMA fighter and is highly susceptible to an array of submissions. This was a good matchup for Yamamoto, despite the size disadvantage. I give this one a 6 out of 10. So what would become of our two titans of the roped canvas-covered square platform here? Yamamoto will return at Pride 20, where he will be fighting a debuting Bob Sapp. Yes, that Bob Sapp. Old Bobo will be making his combat sports debut there. As for Yan, this would do it for his Pride career. Another one and done. He would return to K1, fighting the likes of Ernesto Hoost in August of 2002, a KO loss. Alexei Ignashov, Belarusian near of Dr. Death fame, in July of 2003, another KO loss. Tom Erickson fought in K1, apparently, the grizzly bear of my dreams. He fought Yan in Jan of 2004, which was a TKO doctor stoppage loss for old Yan. And then Semmy Schilt, a TKO loss in November of 2004, plus much more. Yan would kickbox until 2013, amassing a glorious record of 9-16. Yan would also continue his MMA endeavors as well, having 8 MMA fights, but garnering only 2 wins in total. In fact, his next immediate MMA fight after Pride 18 here would be one of his 2 victories, when he kicked the shit out of Tadao Yoshida's head at the 2002 Inoki Bumbaye event in December of 2002. His next MMA bout after that would come against Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, that's Shinsuke Nakamura, in Shinsuke's second MMA fight, which came at the New Japan Pro Wrestling Ultimate Crush event in May of 2003. Shinsuke would submit Yan with a guillotine. Yan's second MMA victory would come against Bob Sapp, all the way off in February of 2008 at a Strikeforce event. And yes, it was over 5 years between victories for old Yan. Yan would TKO Bobo at 55 seconds of the first round, by the way. Finally, Yan's last MMA bout came against Sokaju. Remember him? We'll get to see Sokaju way off in the last days of Pride. But regarding his fight with Yan, Sokaju would TKO Yan in the first round at Dream 9 in May of 2009. We'll see you around some other time, Yan.
Nordiki 2メートル11センチの大男、文字通り天をつくような高さであります。さあ、こちらは4年前敗れているトム・エリクソンに対して借りを返すことができるのか。南アフリカの大巨人、今年は6月の K1 ジャパングランプリでピーター・アーツにも敗れています。今日はこの岡山にやってきました。グラジエーターのリング、今トップロープを大股にリングインしてきました。ヤンザ・ジャイアント・ノルキア。
青コーナー 135kg フリートム・エリクソン。
青コーナー193センチ、ビッグネームです、トム・エリクソン。
赤コーナー 150kg フリーヤンザ・ジャイアント・ノルキア。
そして赤コーナー2メートル11センチ、大巨人ヤンザ・ジャイアント・ノルキア。
いやー、2人ともでかいですね、トップロープから体の半分ぐらいはみ出てますからね。
文字通りスーパーヘビー級の激突と言ってもいいですね。
そうですね、もうこれはね、前回の試合もですね、1ラウンド55秒でですね決着してますから、今回も早いんじゃないですかね。
一発があればもうノックアウトは間違いありません。
本当に一発入れば倒れると思うんで、どっちかが。
4年前はトム・エリクソンが勝っています。
そうですね、どっちが勝ってもおかしくない試合ですよね。
今ゴンが鳴りました。赤のグローブがノルキア、そして青のグローブエリクソン。これはダウンではありません。スーパーヘビー級の激突。右入った。エリクソン右が入りました。
これはダウン。再現になりますかね。序盤まずは右のショートが入りました。ダウンを
を奪ったのはトム・エリクソン。4年前の再現か。さあ左から右、また前に出ます。エリクソンが前に出る。さあ左右のフック、膝を出していく。左フック、左フック、
左フック、
ここでダウン。今度はエリクソンがダウン。ノルキアの強烈なパンチがヒットしました。
ノルキアは何といってもセーブシールドからダウンを奪ってますからね。
そうなんですよね、これでダウンはお互い一つずつ。前に出ていきますエリクソン。ここで止めました。熊子さん、はい、今のパンチは
右フックじゃないですかね。
右ですか、
しかもタイムが1分5秒、前回より10秒長いだけですよね。
Welcome to Intermission.
Alright everybody, we're going to be playing some original Mortal Kombat. Now, I had been, I had to fix my audio on my headphones there. I'd actually been playing this. I was playing this. I played it for about 30 minutes. Trying to beat Goro. And then I gave up, and then I checked what I recorded and realized that the game audio was way too loud. You could barely hear me. So I'm just going to play through real quick here. Besides, you didn't want to see me playing Mortal Kombat for 30 minutes where I'm just all I'm doing is cursing and calling various opponents cocksuckers and racially insensitive names. And, and all sorts of garbage. I get really upset when I'm playing the game against the computer and a cheating computer. So anyway, fighting the first couple guys here is going to be a breeze, considering that I fought Goro for like 15 minutes straight, and I was just non-stop cursing him. Oh, I'm going to do the fatality. Nope. Didn't get over there in time. I picked Kano because I know how to do his fatality. I know how to do Liu Kang's fatality too because that's easy, but Kano's is easy too. It's back, down, forward, low punch. I should be able to really fly through these first couple of guys here and not lose until I get... I have trouble with Scorpion, but I got him early in the tournament here, so... When he's like the last guy, or like the second to last guy, he's really tough. He's not too bad when he's like the first or second. I'm actually glad I got Sub-Zero and Scorpion first and second here. There we go. Give me your heart! Got it.
Kano wins.
It's just a red blob. It doesn't even look like a heart. This game is... I remember when this game first came out. I hate Sonya with their stupid purple nonsense. When this game first came out, I only think I seen it in the arcade once, and it was kind of... I didn't really realize what it was or kind of understand it. I want to remember... I wasn't actively reading like game magazines. I would just kind of open up game magazines and look at the stuff, the pictures, and I never really read them. So I'm sure in the gaming magazines there was a lot of hype for Mortal Kombat in the arcade here, but I really didn't catch on to the hype until it was coming out to the home consoles. What, 1993? It was coming out for the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. And of course, we had when I was younger growing up, we had a Genesis and a Super Nintendo. But we got this for the Genesis because it was going to have the blood, you know. Even though the Genesis version is considered to be the inferior port, I think it's faster, for one thing. It's a faster game, and I think the music sounds better because the Genesis FM chip is closer to the Mortal Kombat arcade board. The Super Nintendo sound chip, it was good for synths, I guess. That kind of had, you know, like, it was too muffled, especially the sound effects. It had a better, like, a sound effect chip, and I'm just being real cheap on Sonya here. Give me your titty! he pulled out, she had cancer. He's helping her because she had cancer and he took the cancer out of her breast. Kano's a really good dude. He looks exactly like me right there. Except for the laser eye. So yeah, I got this for the Genesis. We used to play this all the time, me and my buddies. Especially during the winter. We'd put in the blood code and just play it non-stop. It's not a deep fighter. This is really not a... I mean, the only reason that this caught any hype at all was because the violence in the digitized characters. Otherwise, it's not a deep fighting game. It's kind of actually a bad fighting game. It's just I guess you could say its gimmick is what made it memorable and made it famous. Otherwise, this could have been a Way of the Warrior or something like that, except for the fact that the guys over at Midway, they knew how to make good games. Fuck you, Johnny Cage. Come on, get out of here. I'm gonna start doing cannonballs on your ass if you don't get away from me. Oh, he's gonna beat me. He's not gonna beat me. He is gonna beat me. He's gonna knock me into the pit.
Johnny Cage wins.
I'm gonna give it one more go. I can't let it settle on that. Here comes cannonballs. It's all gonna be cannonballs all day. That's the only thing I'm doing now. Get out of here with your green stuff. You want more cannonballs? Is that what you want, Johnny Cage? How about an uppercut? How about punches? Just get over here with punches. Come here. Just walk into my punches, dummy. Shh. Kick him. Now I'm starting to get upset again. My blood pressure is rising over this. Just hit him with the cannonballs. I don't know how to do his knives. I've kind of started to focus here as I've gotten quiet. You notice when I'm really focusing as I go quiet. Come on. What are these? Get off me! Now you're getting your heart pulled out. I didn't do it. I've got this really kind of crappy Pelican PlayStation 2 controller that's got a very bad D-pad. It's pretty much a circle. It's really spongy. The down doesn't really work at all. It's kind of old, so. But you know, it's like a quick and easy thing I can plug into the computer without having to fucking worry about, you know, other nonsense, setting it up and whatever. Get out of here, you stupid motherfucker!
Raiden wins.
If I lose the raid and that's it, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. I've been playing Mortal Kombat far too long tonight, and I've been screaming up a storm. So I know my wife, she's not going to be very happy. He's got me. Unless I can pull it out here being cheap. Because he's stupid. He is stupid. He's going to let me continue on. Oh my god. I got a good RNG on that one. The fact that he let me abuse him like that. Have cannonballs. Oh, you think you're... Oh, blah, 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 blah. Kano can do that too. Oh, damn it. That was a good combo. Why don't you do the fatality? I'm done. I'm done playing Mortal Kombat. Let's get back to the fights!
And our second half's about to begin.
Igor Vovchanchyn seems to be at the crossroads in a way because he's lost his last couple fights. He lost his last one to Mario Sperry, and a couple fights back, he dropped a decision to Trey Telligman. Didn't really seem to be the same after that one.
Yeah, I think so too, but it's the same case with Valentine Overeem. He also lost his last 2 fights, and he also wants to be back. He looked really sharp too. He lost some weight. He says he's in a very good condition, but also Igor looked very sharp, and he also needs to win. Bang at the bang at the bang, that's what it's going to be.
On to the next bout, which sees a returning Igor Volchanchin taking on a returning Valentine Overeem. Igor was 28 years old here, and his MMA record stood at 49-5-1 no contest. Valentine, meanwhile, was 25 years old, and his MMA record was 20-12. Igor is back after the stunning submission defeat he suffered at the hands of Mario Sperry at Pride 17, and Valentine returns, last seen being heel-hooked by Asuero Silva at Pride 15. Both men need a victory tonight, but of course only one will get it. No walkouts for our fighters, just straight into the ring to a very frumpy-looking Valentine Overeem, who's sporting some very plump and supple titties. Quadros and Boss make note of Overeem's new tattoo, Quadros wanting to know where it ends underneath his trunks.
Valentine! Oh, man! That's a nasty tattoo down below the belly button.
I just wanted to say something about it.
Where does it end? I mean, well, never mind.
That's gay. FYI, at the tip of his dick, Quadros, that's where the tattoo ends. Geezer tidbit, these men were born 11 days apart in August. Igor was born on August 6th, and Valentine was born on August 17th. Overeem apparently wants to kickbox with Igor in this fight. Probably not a good game plan. Does he know what Igor Volchanchin's kickboxing record is? It's like 61-2 at this time. Not much more to say. Time for the fight. Round 1. The men meet at the center of the ring, and a spastic Igor rumbles in with lefts and rights, knocking Valentine down. Valentine shoots for the legs. Igor sprawls. The men are up, but Valentine's still holding on. He lifts and slams Igor down. He's in side control. Valentine wanting to get freaky with a move to north-south, but it's blocked by the ropes. Igor tries to get guard. Valentine stands. The ref calls for action, and Valentine dives back down into Igor's guard. Quadros talks about Overeem's tattoos.
Valentine, a canvas for tattoos. Got one on his back, on his arms.
He's really stuck on his fucking tattoos. Valentine stands to wrap up Igor's left leg for a heel hook, methinks, and then he springs it. Igor spins and spins, has kicked out of it, and jumps on top in side control. The crowd applauds.
But he needs to... Oh, is Valentine going to go for a leg here? He's going for the leg. Heel hook. Igor spinning. Igor's got to push away. Igor getting out. Igor on top. Unbelievable.
Igor moves right into mount. Igor throws down some leather, to quote Gary Goodridge.
Taking some leather.
Good right from the bottom by Overeem. Overeem then with a nice reversal as he rolls Igor. Now he is on top in guard. LOL, Boss talks about how Overeem should pass the guard to get in the side mount, or to quote unquote the 69 position.
Yeah, I would definitely pass the guard. I mean, everybody who had effectiveness with Vovchanchyn was from side mount or the 69 position.
And you say I'm stupid for calling it freaky mount? Overeem postures up, gets punched a couple of times, lands a good right, is stuck at the ends of Igor's feet. Then Overeem falls back for a heel hook or ankle lock, and whoops, Igor is the one instead that has a heel hook locked in. And because that big dummy Valentine wore shoes, he's in deep trouble. Igor torques it. Overeem shouts. So Igor does it more, and Overeem shouts more.
Push it off.
The ref is very curious. And then, one last time, Igor twists the heel, and Overeem is screaming and tapping out. And wow, what a reversal of fortunes, as Igor Volchanchin has pulled off a heel hook submission.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go for a toe hold or a heel hook. Looks like a heel hook.
Good right hand there by Valentine Overeem. Valentine.
No.
Now Igor going for a heel hook, but he doesn't really have it.
Valentine should throw Igor's left leg off, push it off to the side, because otherwise he's not going to escape. He's going to throw it off.
Oh no! Oh. This is so. Oh my God! Igor Vovchanchyn has heel hook Valentine Overeem. Oh my God! I would have never expected that. Never, never, never. Vovchanchyn, this is not good.
At the moment you said Vovchanchyn will not go for a heel hook, I want to say, oh, you never know, because he choked out Gilbert Eifel.
and now he's going for it.
"Oh no!" shouts Quadros. Get out of here! Igor Volchanchin, winner via heel hook submission at 4 minutes, 35 seconds of the first round. I blame the shoes. This is a second straight heel hook loss for Overeem, and he really needs to stop wearing the shoes. Quadros and Boss chastise Valentine for not even trying to get out of the heel hook. It's a fishy loss, or maybe Valentine is just a big dummy. I don't know. And just like that, we're off to the next fight. We'll head back over to our friend Alistair and see what he thought of this fight.
Valentine Overeem struck me as a guy who's got great submission offense, but really shitty submission defense. Also, he peaked in rings. Still, fun fight, well done. Igor Vovchanchyn is always cool.
This was a good bout. I liked it, but I am suspect of Valentine. He doesn't seem to have very good ring smarts, and it's as if he doesn't game plan at all for fights. He just does things without a second thought. Good showing from Igor, who despite having a tough loss against Mario Sperry, still has enough left to put on good fights. I give this one a 7 out of 10. So what would become of our two hobgoblin heel hookers here? We'll next see Igor at Pride 19, Bad Blood, where he'll take on Heath Herring. As for Valentine, he'll be back, but just for one more Pride, which will come a full year later at Pride 24. Cold Fury 3, where he'll take on Ron Waterman, American fighter who will be making his Pride debut at that event. We'll see you then, boys! We're off to the next fight of Pride 18, which sees a returning Akira Soji taking on newcomer to Pride, Jeremy Horn. Akira was 27 years old and his MMA record was 8-5-6. Jeremy Horn from the USA was 26 years old, meanwhile, and his record was, holy sheets, 51-11-4. Akira is back in Pride, missing Pride 17. He was last seen at Pride 16, where he fought the behemoth Semmy Schilt in a TKO losing affair. Now he welcomes in world-traveled journeyman of MMA despite his young age. But just who is this Jeremy Horn fellow anyway? Born in Omaha, Nebraska, Jeremy took up fight training at age 12 and was trained in the Robert Busey's Warriors International Fighting System. At age 17, he would earn a black belt from old Robert, whatever that means. Can anyone just make up their own black belts, even Hicks from Nebraska? After that, Jeremy would find himself joining the Militich fighting system out of Bettendorf, Iowa, and in March of 1996, at 20 years of age, he would have his first fight in a dingy warehouse somewhere in Atlanta. He would defeat his opponent that day, Rick Graveson, via armbar in under 2 minutes. Jeremy would then join the Extreme Challenge promotion after that in late 1996, with notable bouts while there against Dan Severn at Extreme Challenge 7 in June of 1997, a draw, and then twice against MMA fighting whore Travis Fulton, first at Extreme Challenge 9 in August of 97 and then Extreme Challenge 16 in March of 1998, both draws. After having 9 bouts in Extreme Challenge, Jeremy would be invited to the UFC in May of 1998 for UFC 17, where he was pitted against Frank Shamrock. Frank was 16-7-1 at the time, and Jeremy was 9-2-3. Despite Frank having arguably a higher caliber of opponents in his career, Jeremy was able to stay with him for 16 minutes before Frank finally caught him in a knee bar. After that, Jeremy would summon his MMA animal fighting spirit and proceed to bang out 31 fights from June of 1998 until December of 1999, only losing twice over those 31 fights with 1 draw. An amazing run with a smattering of known names, including Ebenezer Fontes Braga, a guillotine loss at UFC Brazil in October of 98, Kiichiro Yamamiya, a draw at Pancrase, Advanced 12 in December of 98, which would be Jeremy's only appearance in the venerable Japanese promotion, and then Chuck Liddell, a submission win at UFC 19 in March of 1999. In 2000, Jeremy would have more notable bouts, including against Big Nog Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira at WEF Going Platinum in January of 2000, a decision loss. Yoshihisa Yamamoto at Rings, Millennium Combine 1 in April, an arm triangle victory. Kiyoshi Tamura, a decision loss at C2K, the show that featured Rickson Gracie's final MMA bout, which was a decision loss for Horn. Ricardo Arona at Ring's Millennium Combine 3, a split decision loss in August, and then at Ring's King of Kings 1999 opening rounds, where Jeremy Horn lost to the legend Randy Couture via decision in October of 2000. There would be many more fights to come in many different MMA promotions. Far too many to cover in full in our brief amount of time. Just before Pride 18 here, Jeremy fought at Ultimate Wrestling Minnesota in October of 2001, a fight I shockingly found video for. There, Horn fought Dan Theodore and won via KO. And that brings us here to Pride 18. Right into the ring once again, no walkouts. Monty Cox managed Jeremy Horn is how he is introduced by Quadros. Monty Cox is a very notorious fight manager who hung around Pat Miletich and managed many of Miletich's guys, including Miletich himself. Just earlier this year, in January of 2008, Monty was sentenced to 3 months in prison for filing false tax reports. Akira is looking very Soji-like, sporting a goatee and short black hair. He looks, though, like he's gotten some sun recently, and he's not so pale and ghostly looking as usual. Big size difference, though, as Jeremy Horn has at least 4 inches on Soji. And fight fans, I was expecting our friend Alistair to do the play-by-play for this one, but whoops, he didn't, so I had to do it. And let's do that now. Round 1. The bell rings, Soji comes rushing in with a punch, they clinch, hit the ropes, and Soji takes him down. Soji is in guard, he works body shots, and so does Jeremy. Jeremy very calm and comfortable here. He does a good job of wrapping Soji up and minimizing his movement. Quadros says Horn describes his own style as sloth-like.
He says his style is sloth-like. Oh, God. Sloth? That's funny, I think he was being comedic there.
Soji postures up and nearly gets caught in an armbar. Both men are then up, they clinch, fight for control, and Soji is the one that ends up tripping Horn down, but he's fallen into maybe a leg triangle possibly. But he breaks out of it. He's back in full guard. Quadros starts to shit on the fight, saying that the fighters need to understand that fighting is also entertainment.
Well, they've really got to get busy here. They've got to pick up the pace, understanding that fighting is also entertainment.
Horn is definitely the most busy fighter here, working light punches from the bottom and generally controlling Soji, though Soji tries to get some off every now and then, 5 minutes down in round 1. Jeremy with great wrist control. Soji isn't really doing a whole lot, and he's not trying that hard to pass guard either. Horn spots a B on Soji's back and then tries to smack it off him with several punches. I don't think he got it though. Then the B must have went to Jeremy's back, so Soji returns him the favor and begins to try to smack it off. But he didn't get it either. Damn it. 3 minutes left. More of the same. Soji tries to punch, but Horn stifles him. Soji works the body. Jeremy works the head. Jeremy with butterfly guard, and he spins Soji above him. He tries to scramble up, but Soji dives right back on top into guard. He then tries to get the side control, but is pushed back to guard. The bees return to Soji's back. Horn tries to get that son of a bitch, but damn it, he missed. 1 minute left now in round 1. Not much happens, though, until the bell rings. Quadros calls it a slow first round. Yap, says Boss.
That was a pretty slow first round, really.
Yep. On to round 2. Soji pushes forward with wide looping punches. Jeremy pegs him with a good one. Then he pushes forward with a kick. Then delivers a nice double jab, straight right punch, and then a left kick that beans Soji's face. Soji grabs him. They fight for control, and Jeremy pulls back, but Soji lands on top. That damn bee is returned on Soji's back, and Jeremy tries to fucking smash it. Grrr, he didn't get it, though. Jeremy squirts around under Soji and punches. Jeremy bitch smacks Soji with a backhand, and then the referee stops and stands them up. And wow, Soji gets a yellow card for being a do-nothing lump of shit. That's a bit harsh, don't you think, ref? On the restart, Jeremy wants to kickbox, and Soji just wants to hug him. Soji tries to pull him down, but Jeremy was just too slippery. Soji falls. Jeremy misses with a knee, and now Jeremy is on top in half guard. Jeremy passes the side control. Knee ride. He traps Soji's left hand, knees the body. 2 minutes left in round 2. Horn then takes mount, then goes back to side control, thinks of a knee, grinds on Soji's face, knocks up the left hand again, and maybe thinks of an arm choke. Horn has Soji completely neutralized here. He's back in mount. 1 minute left. Horn is on top. Punches. Now he traps the right hand. Soji does nothing in return. Jeremy punches the head and body, has the arm ready for an armbar, tries to distract Soji, then he tries to spring the armbar, but whoops, Soji slips away and now he's on top, but the bell rings right there, ending round 2. Moving on to round 3, solid leg kick by Jeremy, nice form. He then swings high. He tries to target a punch and Soji grabs him. In the corner, Horn pummels under, slides against the rope, back to the corner. Quadros talks about how respectful Jeremy is, who a day or so before joked with Boss by asking him what weight class Boss was going to be fighting in, so he could avoid that weight class.
Hey, I think he said a joke when we were talking to him the other day about what weight are you going to fight in? Because he'll make sure not to fight in that weight.
There you go, nice shot.
What a nice thing to say for him, actually paying him.
You can tell both Boss and Quadros like Horn a lot.
A lot!
Soji takes Jeremy down, he's in guard, and wouldn't you know it, that damn bee has returned! Horn tries to end its existence, and he just can't seem to get it, so he gives up. Damn. Slow work from Soji. Horn, meanwhile, tries to pull off a Kimura on Soji's left arm, but he spots the bee on Soji's back, so he gives up on the Kimura to try and smack it. Oh, it got away, though. He should have just ignored it. Damn it. The ref moves the fighters, and that damn bee is back. Horn tries to get it, then he pulls off an awesome sweep, and now Jeremy is on top. Thank you, bee. Quadros is totally unimpressed, though, and he actually sounds really depressed.
He did just that now. He's got half position.
Horn gets side control. Soji spins out of it. On his knees. Horn knees him. Soji rolls to his back. Jeremy has side control again. 2 minutes left now in our fight. Horn knee rides again. Knees the head. Traps the right wrist. Takes mount. Works the body. Soji bucks. 1 minute left now. Can Horn finish him? Knee right again. Soji turns. Jeremy takes his back. Rolls Soji over. He has a body lock on him. He tries for a choke, but time is running short. He gives up on it. Soji turns. Horn punches him. They roll over. Hard hammer shots by Jeremy, and then the bell rings, ending our fight. Whew. It's over, folks. Who do you think won that one? We're going to head to the judges to learn the result, which is...
Judge Battle, Jeremy. Judge Kobayashi, Jeremy. Judge Miyake, Jeremy.
Okay, it's a unanimous decision for Jeremy Horn coming into Pride, out-grappling Akira Shoji. What's next from, Merlin Ninja would be a great fight.
Jeremy Horn, victor, via decision after 3 rounds. Let's head over to our friend Alistair and get his thoughts on this fight.
Holy shit, this fight was terrible. Every second that Akira Soji spent on offense was god-awful. Thank God he got beaten up by Jeremy Horn so bad in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Not a great fight. Feel free to skip it.
Here's my thoughts. This one was a bit of a chess match, and both men got sweaty real quick, which probably negated some of the submission attempts. It was a good grappling match overall, I guess. Horn looked good, but this one was a bit of a slog. Overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. So, what would become of our 2 super slippery sluggers here? Jeremy Horn will be back for just one more Pride 21 Demolition in June of 2002, where he will be taking on a returning cheating mother effer, Gilbert Ivel. Jeremy will squeeze in 3 fights before then, though, against random nobodies you've never heard of. As for Soji, he's taking the next few Prides off, not returning until Pride 22, Beasts from the East 2, in September of 2002. Before then, he will be fighting just once, at a King of the Cage event in Reno, Nevada, of all places, on May 17th in 2002. There he gets a tomato can to fight against and maybe get a win against, which he really needs. But to learn more about that fight fans, you're going to have to tune in to Pride Resurrection episode 25. We'll see you boys then.
Wanderlei Silva is literally a guy that no one right now wants to fight. I've asked so many fighters, would they like to fight Wanderlei in the next fight? And they said, no, maybe down the road. Now tonight, he's got to remain focused. He can't take Otsuka lightly because Otsuka is the upset kid in some ways.
Oh yeah, Otsuka made a big upset when he entered the Pride for the first time. He fought against Marco Ruas and he beat Marco Ruas. Then he went to distance with Igor Vovchanchyn, he went to distance with Renzo Gracie, but now he had a few losses. He wants to be back. He wants to show the people here in his hometown in Japan that he still is in the game. I don't know about this.
But the thing is, with Wanderlei Silva, one of the most dangerous strikers for sure, Wanderlei is in a tough situation. If the fight goes the distance, are people going to think that he's gotten weaker? In a way, there's a lot of pressure on him to destroy Otsuka, who's lost his last couple fights.
Yeah, it's like you said, for Otsuka, there's no lose situation. He fights the man of the man. If he loses, he loses against the middleweight champion. And sometimes that gives you the edge. If you got nothing to lose, you will go 100%. And God knows it's going to work tonight.
One thing is for sure, these two bald guys are going to go at it.
The next bout of Pride 18 sees a reigning Pride middleweight champion Wanderlei Silva taking on a returning Alexander Otsuka, in a bout that is definitely not for the Pride middleweight title. Wanderlei was 25 years old and his MMA record stood at 17-3 and won no contest. The Diet Butcher, meanwhile, was 30 years old and his record was 2-8. Wah wah. Wanderlei was last seen at the previous Pride Championship Chaos, where he won the middleweight title after Sakuraba either broke or dislocated his collarbone. Otsuka was last seen all the way back at Pride 12, Cold Fury 1 in December of 2000, where he lost to Guy Mezger. Since then, Otsuka has fought twice, at King of the Cage 7, Wet and Wild, in February of 2001, which was a TKO doctor stoppage against Guy Mezger, the second straight time that Otsuka had fought and lost to Guy Mezger. I still don't have any video from Wet and Wild. Sorry, fight fans. Then in October of 2001, at Battle Arts versus the World, Otsuka lost again via TKO doctor stoppage, this time against Rampage Jackson. Kai Grant has entered the ring finally to deliver the ring introductions.
Pride 18, ただいまより第7試合を行います。
And now for the seventh match.
青コーナーよりアレキサンダー大塚選手の優勝です。
Only Otsuka gets his walkout. Funny enough, Otsuka enters second, I think, and he comes out to some Japanese rock anthem ballad. It's definitely going to get a copyright claim on it if I use it, so you're not going to hear much of it, folks. He gets a big ovation, though, when Lenny Hart announces his name. Geezer tidbit! These men were born 2 weeks apart in July. Wanderlei was born on July 3rd, and Otsuka was born on July 17th. I am now convinced that one of the metrics Pride uses to determine matchups is via proximity to days of birth. Silva is sporting slightly unshaven head for this. Quadros likens this match to taking a cow to the slaughterhouse.
Wanderlei Silva.
青コーナー183センチ 96.5 キロ Alexander Otsuka.
Alexander Otsuka. Some feel that this is like taking a cow to the slaughterhouse.
Ouch. Otsuka taking a departure from his usual flamboyant colors. He has white flames over black trunks. Silva is wearing a similar fashion, though, wearing just white and black, no flames. During a stare down, Quadros says he's never seen a more violent specimen than Wanderlei Silva, and I can't argue with that. Wanderlei during this time was a stone-cold killer. But Otsuka has a size advantage on him in this fight, a good couple inches taller and likely 15 pounds or so heavier. We catch a glimpse of Sakuraba at the commentator's booth with a headset on. He must be providing guest commentary for the Japanese broadcast. That's something I would love to hear with a translation. Anyway, time for the fight. Round 1. Dead silence in the crowd as the men face off.
Oh, it's so silent in the place here.
Otsuka feints, then he pulls the trigger on a kick, but the well-trained Silva counters with furious punches. pushing Otsuka back. He flies and hits the ropes, comes back with an inside leg kick, which is a better weapon to use against a kick countering puncher like Silva. 1, 2, 3, then delivered by Silva. Otsuka goes for the hips. Silva defends, goes for a tie clinch. Otsuka buries himself into Silva's midsection. In the corner, Otsuka works belly punches. Silva stands. The ref goes to break them up. Silva cocks his hand back and charges forward after a retreating Otsuka, but Silva never gets a chance to really pull the trigger. They clinch. Against the ropes, Otsuka pushes Silva around toward the corner, showing off his superior strength. Quadros states that Wanderlei has nothing to gain with this fight, and if he doesn't decimate Otsuka fairly quickly, people are going to question his ability.
If Wanderlei doesn't decimate Otsuka early, people are going to question Wanderlei's finishing power.
Decimate. Really, Quadros? To reduce by 1/10, Quadros? Methinks you don't know the meaning of this word, Quadros. Out of the corner, still clinched. They jostle for position, back in the corner. Knee by Otsuka. He's still in control. The ref is in to separate the fighters. On the restart, Otsuka fixes a wedgie he has, and Silva tries to capitalize on it, but he doesn't. They clinch. Otsuka takes control against the ropes in the corner. Then Silva pushes forward and takes Otsuka down. Silva is in half guard. He punches, kind of. Otsuka responds with palm strikes to the ribs. Whew, those gotta hurt. Not. Silva takes mount, postures up. Otsuka spins, gets to his knees. Silva tries to kick him, then again, but misses. Otsuka is up, and he fixes his fucking shorts again. 5 minutes down in round 1. Quadro says that Silva wants Tito, Ortiz that is, to come fight him in Pride. Boss says yeah, under the Pride rules.
But Wanderlei made the point that he fought Tito in the UFC, now he wants Tito to come fight him in Pride to return the favor.
Yeah, with the Pride rules, which are made for Wanderlei and Silva.
That would be a fun fight to see. Otsuka shoots, Silva sprawls, knee. Otsuka pulls guard. Silva postures up. The men battle with punches, and Otsuka up kicks. Hard soccer kick by Silva. Silva gasping for air now as he kicks the legs of Otsuka. And I will note, Silva's looking like he's on the juice here, as his muscles are really puffed up. His upper body is simply jacked. Ref is in to stand Otsuka up. On a restart, Otsuka fixes his fucking knee guard. Mezger! Where's Mezger? Never mind. Silva nearly takes advantage of this, but he's slow right now. I question his gas tank. Nice punch by Otsuka. He goes for a looping uppercut, misses. Silva counters, moves in, and decks Otsuka. Against the ropes, he clips Otsuka again. Otsuka falls. Otsuka grabs the legs. Silva sprawls. Knees. Silva is up. He kicks. Otsuka falls back. Silva looking really gassed here. He doesn't pull a trigger on a kick. 3 minutes left now. Silva wings in with a kick. He's on top. Loses position. Otsuka goes for the legs. They are up. The crowd applauds.
3 minutes left.
Whoa! That was very stubborn.
Oh, he almost got the mount there.
Oh, he's good. Out of balance. He did the same.
Clinched against the ropes. Silva knees. Silva with a flurry. Otsuka shoots. Sprawl by Silva. Otsuka should really push the pace here as Silva is tiring. Silva knees. Otsuka pulls guard, but Silva gets mount. Pounds Otsuka's head. Otsuka rolls. Silva takes his back, punches his head. Really hard breaths from Silva. And I know I'm repeating myself here, but Silva's conditioning is really bad. I wonder if it's a side effect from his juiced up muscles. 1 minute left now. Silva has slowed. He stands to go for a kick but misses. Now standing. Otsuka on his back. Silva kicks the legs hard. There's a baby kick in response from Otsuka. More kicks from Silva. He stomps on Otsuka's plump face, then goes for a soccer kick, and then the bell rings right there. Otsuka looking pretty dry. Silva, meanwhile, is a sweaty mess. Quadros asks Boss how he would train a student to fight Silva, tongue-in-cheek like, since both commentators are hinting that Boss himself is going to fight Silva.
Boss, if you were going to train a fighter, or be close to a fighter that was going to fight Wanderlei,
Yes.
how would you approach the fight?
If I would be a striker, I would try to knock him out and take myself from the takedown.
On to round 2, the men stand off and trade, then clinch against the ropes in the corner. The crowd is dead silent. Once again, it's unbelievable. Ref separation. In the center of the ring, Silva connects with a combo. They clinch. Quadro says that every guy that he and Boss had talked to in the past couple days said they did not want to fight Wanderlei in their next fight.
Because every guy that we've talked to over the last couple days to the man, have said that they do not want to fight Wanderlei in their next fight. Maybe down the road, they say.
Yeah.
We're back in the corner. Otsuka is muscling Silva around. Ref separation. On the restart, what the fuck is wrong with Otsuka?
Waiting at the edge of the chair for the explosion.
Double drop kick attempt. We've seen that before. Otsuka has never really landed that, but it looks good.
Silva kicks his legs, goes for a side hook kick. Then he goes for the Sakuraba hop and jump stomp that Otsuka defends. Ref stands Otsuka up. Nice kick by Silva. Hey, that's my kick, says Boss.
Combination. No, this could be it.
That's your kick, Boss.
That's my kick.
Silva rushes Otsuka. Otsuka shoots. Silva sprawls, but Otsuka turns him down to the mat. 2 minutes left in round 2. Otsuka works from guard. Steady body punches. Silva tries for an armbar. Otsuka spins and gets the side control. Knees, then moves to freaky mount. And then the bell rings right there, ending round 2. So close, Otsuka, yet so far away. Silva needs a big round 3 to cement himself as the top guy. Otherwise, he may be looking to eke out only a decision against the 2-8 Otsuka. On to the third and final round. Kick by Otsuka and Silva wades in. They clinch. Knee by Otsuka. Silva lifts and slams him down with force. Silva is in side control. Silva mounts high and punches. Stands up and Otsuka rolls to his back to defend. Kick in the ass by Silva. Silva goes for a soccer kick. Gets in a punch. More kicks from Silva. Ref stands Otsuka up. They exchange punches. Silva pushes forward with more punches. A clinch. Silva knees. In the corner, Otsuka must be busted open or something as the ref, Yuji Shimada, is staring directly at him. Shimada then looks outside the ring to another ref. Then he calls for a stop to the fight. Wow, Silva's shoulder is covered with blood. Otsuka is checked by the doctor, and his nose looks like it's really fucked up. Boss and Quadros watch the replay, and then suddenly the bell is ringing furiously.
Right hand counter by Wanderlei. Wanderlei with another right hand. Wanderlei coming in. Knee! Otsuka fighting smart, getting the body lock, surviving another furious flurry by Silva. Silva getting the underhook again. Okay.
This time I guess in the center of the ring.
Oh, it's bleeding. Oh, that right hand landed. It looks like it broke Otsuka's nose.
Okay.
I doubt they'll stop it on this.
No, they're not going to stop it.
No, but that right hand landed. I'll tell you, Otsuka has taken some shots in this fight and he never went down. I think he's really been working his stand-up. Heart has never been a question with Alexander Otsuka. And in this fight, he's really demonstrated his ability. Now, here we're going to look at the that right hand right there.
Nice.
It was a chopping right hand. There's that one right there.
That one was probably it.
Both of them landed, and it seemed like the second one was the one with the gunpowder in it.
Boom.
Oh, good shot.
Yeah, the second one was the one.
You really saw him flinch, and that knee right there. That if the punches didn't do it, the knee did it. Looks like the fight's over. The fight is over. A little bit of an anticlimax there because, as we said, it was almost a lose-lose situation for Silva.
And that's it. The fight is over. Wanderlei Silva, winner via doctor stoppage at 2 minutes, 22 seconds of the third round. This is the third straight TKO doctor stoppage for Otsuka. What the fuck is wrong with his face? Silva gets his trinkets of victory, and then we're off to the next fight. Let's head back over to Alistair, the Australian, to learn what he thought of this fight.
Alexander Otsuka's only remarkable fighting ability is his insane durability. Beyond that, there was no way he was ever going to win this fight.
Here's my thoughts, fight fans. Otsuka is proving to be a horrible matchup for some reason for certain guys, and Silva looked quite awful in this fight, even though you could say it was a dominant performance. That's weird to say, right? Silva was just slow, sometimes lethargic, and he just didn't have any gas. He was able to finish Otsuka via lucky doctor stoppage, I guess, but it definitely wasn't some amazing stoppage performance. Otsuka, though, gets some credit for staying in there and actually taking advantage of Silva during certain portions of the fight, using his superior strength to control Silva. Otsuka, maybe, just maybe, he can get another win someday. Anyway, this one was kind of a boring slog. I give it a 5 out of 10. So what would become of our two jumping, jolly jugers here? Wanderlei Silva will be back at the next Pride. Bad Blood, where he will defend his middleweight championship against a Pride debuting Kiyoshi Tamura, Rings veteran who enters that fight with a dubious record of 23-8-3. Dubious, I say, because Tamura has about a dozen victories listed on his record that have come from fake shoot-style pro wrestling matches. As for Otsuka, the well-meaning man who can only seem to buy a win looks to continue his losing streak at Pride 20, where lump of Shitsune Kokuda marks his triumphant return to Pride. Yay! See ya, boys, then!
Yoshihiro Takayama is one of the biggest fighters in the Pride circuit. But boss, he's fighting a guy who's even bigger than he is in Semmy Schilt.
Oh yeah, and the last time we saw Takayama fight against Fujita, he really impressed me. This guy can take a beating, that's one thing for sure. Also, on the ground, he has more skills than Sam Schilt. So if he's going to take the fight to the ground, it could be trouble for Semmy Schilt.
But Semmy Schilt is on a hot streak right now. He's knocking everybody out with knees, with punches, with kicks. If he gets past Takayama, it's wide open for him. He could jump into the top 5 in his next fight. He's got Coleman to fight, maybe Heath Herring, maybe Antonio and Rodrigo Nogueira, the Pride heavyweight champion. The sky is the limit for this young man from Holland.
Our 8th and final bout of Pride 18 sees a returning Semmy Schilt taking on a returning Yoshihiro Takayama. Semmy was 28 years old here, and his record was 21-10-1. Takayama, meanwhile, was 35 years old, and his MMA record was 0-1. Semmy Schilt returns after pummeling the Masake Satake in a little over 2 minutes at Pride 17. Takayama, meanwhile, was last spotted making his MMA debut at Pride 14 in May of 2001, where he lost via arm triangle submission to Fujita in a match that was likely just another in the ongoing Takada versus Inoki pissing contest. No walkouts again, and we go straight to the ring, and I can't believe Takayama is only 35 years old. He looks like he's pushing 50. This guy, who once had the looks and body of a model, has aged about 20 years in the span of 5. At the stare down, Takayama is tall, but Schilt still has at least 5 inches on him. Takayama is listed at 6'7", and I'm not sure I believe that. But Takayama has Schilt outweighed in this. By how much? I'm not sure, as Quadros leaves that bit of info out. Let's get into it. Round 1, the men meet. Front kick by Schilt jilts Takayama's head. Takayama is trying to find his way inside of Schilt's reach with punches. Looking sloppy though. They clinch. Takayama has the body, and he could be trying to lift Schilt, but he's not getting any part of him off the ground. In the corner, good punches from Schilt. Takayama is still focused on getting Schilt down, but he's not leveraging his weight at all. He should go lower for the legs and not try from the middle of the body. This is a huge mistake. Schilt pounds on Takayama, who groans as he tries to knee
His left leg and push forward.
Takayama, who has come up with a fantastically terrible idea, decides he's going to deadlift Schilt backwards like a belly-to-belly slam in pro wrestling, but he gets no lift at all and doesn't turn at all, and Schilt lands right on top of him. Whoops! But God has smiled on Takayama as Schilt has lost position and falls over, allowing Takayama to get on top and guard. Schilt looks for an armbar here. Quadros is very dubious of it. Boss, though, has a more positive outlook.
Is he going to get an armbar? No way.
He's going to try, yes.
Schilt mashes Takayama's face, who is very good at that. Schilt's still holding onto the arm, and now he's switching to a leg triangle, and whoop, Takayama slips out and he stands, then backs away. Takayama looks gassed, though, breathing harder than I've ever seen any man breathe in my life. And wow, I can't believe it, Takayama is actually looking uglier than he did earlier. What the fuck is happening? Takayama kicks at Schilt's legs. The ref is in to stand Schilt up. Takayama rages in and tries to punch Schilt, but Schilt is an expert at using his range, keeping Takayama at bay and not allowing him to get inside. Schilt then tees off, landing a distracting kick to the body and then beaning Yama with solid punches, the left which crumples Takayama into the ropes, and Takayama is stone cold KO'd as Schilt lands punches to the bouncing haired head of Takayama. The ref jumps in to say save Takayama, and just like that, the fight is over.
To the body. Throw that front kick and these. Oh, good shopping right there. Throw that front kick. Takayama just clawing away at punches, taking kick after kick. Oh, good shopping left jab there. Oh, knocked him down with a jab off. He's out. He's out. He's out. Takayama has been knocked out. Takayama has been knocked out with a left jab. Wow.
Whoa, the train of Sensio tried to pull guard there. Jumped it. Yeah, kind of what we expected.
Wow.
Semmy Schilt, winner via KO at 3 minutes and 9 seconds of the first round. Let's head over to Alistair and see what he thought of Takayama versus Semmy Schilt.
Holy shit, Semmy Schilt is a scary man. Also, Takayama's belly-to-belly suplex keeps getting him in trouble. Fun enough to watch, but, you know, there was only one way this fight was going to end.
Here's my thoughts, fight fans. Takayama had a very poor game plan for this. He should have studied and watched how Soji was able to take Schilt down in their bout a few prides ago. Soji went for the legs. Schilt has a high center of mass, which means his body is not a good spot to target for takedowns. His weight means that trying to lift and slam him via the body is a giant mistake. But have you seen Takayama's face? That is not a face that inspires confidence in his smarts. In fact, he looks like an unfrozen Neanderthal from the Ice Age. As Schilt celebrates, Takayama begins to wake up, and then he stands and jeez, Takayama has a giant lump in the center of his forehead. I'm at a loss for words. But Takayama is a good sport, and he salutes Schilt. And listen, I do love Takayama. I can't say that enough. This was a fun fight while it lasted. I give it a 7 out of 10. So what would become of our two good God Almighty men here? Both men will return at Pride 21, which is shaping up to be a hell of a show. Semmy Schilt will be taking on a debuting Fedor. Yes, that Fedor. Takayama, meanwhile, will be taking on Don Fry. Yes, that Don Fry in that fight that is literally the most famous fight in Pride's history. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see you boys then. Quadros and Boss recap the fights for us, and then whoop, the broadcast is cut off, closing out another fine show.
Only thing that was missing from the Pride Fighting Championship is that it was not live. The fights are the best in the world. The fighters are the best in the world. The only thing was missing, not live. And now we got it. People, we're coming live to you.
And that's our late Christmas gift to you. So on behalf of our lovely Pride girls, I'm Stephen Quadros. I am the fight professor with my partner, Boss Rutan.
El Vapo.
Thank you very much. And domo arigato. Sayonara.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
My overall thoughts on Pride 18 are this. This was a serviceable card with some great showings, but bigger and better cards are to come. Not before we hit the gutter, though, with The Best Volume 1. Bad Blood, the next numbered Pride, is gonna be an amazing show, as is Pride 21, and they will likely make me forget about Pride 18 here, which is why I simply must give it only a 6 out of 10. It was truly unremarkable, despite it having generally good fights and fighters and finishes. Now's the time of the show that we pick the fight of the night. This one was pretty tough as no fight was truly remarkable, but I'm gonna have to go with Igor Volchanchin versus Valentjin Overeem. I love a good Igor victory, so this fight makes me happy. And that wraps up another episode. Wow! What a show! The best yet. It wasn't really, but I gotta say that every time. We will be back in short order for more Pride action where the hot mess of a show, Pride, The Best Volume 1, is reviewed. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean that. This is a shit show. I can't wait. The Best series is a precursor series to the Bushido series, which would be Pride events dedicated to newer and sometimes smaller fighters. And you won't believe what's in store for us in Pride The Best Volume 1. Held on February 22nd, 2002, Pride The Best Volume 1 features 6 amazing bouts of the best action, starting off with a returning Anthony Macias taking on newcomer Eiji Mitsuoka. Then Pride debuting Jong Wang Kim, notable pancrase lump of shit. He takes on pro wrestler Yoshinori Sasaki, who's making his one and only MMA appearance. Fireworks victim Yohil de Oliveira returns to take on a returning Daijiro Takase. Remember this asshole? Yes. The monster, Baiju himself, Soichi Nishida, makes his triumphant return to take on a triumphant returning giant Ochai. Wow! Amir Ranavardi makes his return too, not having been seen since Pride. He's going to be taking on a debuting Sokun Ko. And in the main event, debuting Yusuke Imamura takes on, oh boy, a debuting Joe-san. This is going to be a fucking freak show of an event, a dumpster fire, and I am really looking forward to it. But for now, fight fans, I must bid you adieu. I am the most dangerous man alive today. So, for Alistair and the good vibe who may or may not ever be back, I am the most dangerous man alive today, wishing you goodbye, good luck, and we'll sniff you fucking jerks later.